like them least. I like them less than a lot of things.
But Uyghur is a combination. Oh my god!
That's what I think about that whole.
My buddy listened to our podcast the other day. My buddy at work, who is not Jay, who, he's somebody. Shout out to my. But I don't even think I should say his name. But damn it, I'll tell you off air. But he thought the Jay interviews were very funny.
Good, I thought so too.
Yes,
that's why I love having him on.
Yeah.
He's hilarious.
Probably for different reasons than we're laughing, but yeah.
Was it the same guy?
Nope, I don't want to talk about it on the podcast.
It wasn't Jump?
No, it's not Jump. No,
okay.
Jump I don't think knows what a podcast is.
I hope he learns one day. I love Jump, and I don't know
Jump's a great guy. My ears are feeling better.
Oh yeah, your cauliflower ears.
Oh God, I was barely able to sleep all week. I was in so much pain.
Oh, you can't lay down, huh?
It hurts like a motherfucker to lay down. Today was the first day I actually got normal sleep because I have the day off today. And I had to go back to sleep multiple times. Even today, in the middle of the day, I just had to nap. Yeah, it's starting to feel better. My neck is starting to feel better. Doesn't terribly hurt when I swallow anymore. There's definitely a semen joke in there somewhere. I know it's too on the nose.
Something's got to give with that fucking class.
What?
You should not be walking away with serious injuries from a jiu-jitsu class.
I mean, things just happen. My buddy who's been doing it for a year, who's already a blue belt,
Holy shit.
he gets, he's really fucking good. If you meet, I would love to have this guy on the podcast.
He probably goes a lot.
He goes twice a week, if not 3 times a week. He's obsessed with it.
Got to be up there.
He even gets hurt sometimes. It's just, dude, once you come with me, you'll see. You just get hurt sometimes. I mean, it's just the nature of the game. You go on Reddit and type in jiu-jitsu injuries or whatever. Everybody comes out. They're like, oh yeah, I cracked my this and that, or I didn't. It's just how it goes, man. You're literally, I mean, look, dude, I don't want to
choking each other.
Yeah, I don't want to talk. This isn't a jiu-jitsu podcast.
Not yet.
This isn't interesting for any listeners. They're like, look at this scrawny fuck. He's going to jiu-jitsu and getting his ass blasted. So, yeah. I'm not good yet, and I'm gonna get hurt. It's just how it goes. Especially with another person who's not good yet. we're just tearing each other up. Yeah. And also, okay, so I have this thing. I did the same thing in wrestling. I'm not an aggressive person, but I love to put myself in a bad situation so that I can teach myself how to get out. I'm less of an attacker. I really like learning how to escape. So I put myself into bad situations a lot of time. I'll slowly, I can dodge people all day and stuff. I have a lot. The only thing I do have up on people is I have a lot of stamina, where I'm not very strong, but I have a lot of stamina. So I'll slow crawl on one knee towards somebody until they get me in a lock and whatever. And then I like to try and escape. I like to figure that out. 'Cause in all reality, it's yeah, you could fucking grab somebody's ankle at some point or whatever, but most of the time, especially for people like me who just aren't aggressive people, we're gonna get locked up at some point, if it's a street fight or if it's whatever. So I like to know how to,
especially in a street fight, you will get locked up.
Yeah, I'm gonna get, dude. Oh my god,
people can't box either.
This one time, I was having a bad night. I'll be real with you. I got thrown out of the Harmony Grange, they mistook me for somebody else, and I was a little guy.
How many years ago was this?
This was in 2006.
So we're talking 17 years ago.
Yeah, that's fucked up. So, okay. So I was a little guy, so I was about 104 pounds at that time, because this was before I was wrestling or anything. So I was about 106 pounds.
You're just a little guy.
I am.
Were.
I think I told that story in the podcast one time. One time I was about to sleep with a girl, and I took off all my shirt and my not my fucking boxers. But she went, "You're just a little guy, aren't you?" I was
my god.
Fuck. That is not what you want to fucking hear before you're about to
I'll
make
just
love.
leave now.
Yeah.
God damn it.
That was hilarious. Anyway, So yeah, I'm a small guy. All right, I like to describe myself as a petite male. So I'm a small guy. So me and a couple of buddies, we were there with some girls, and
we were
right. It was just like we were being silly, and
what to do.
We rushed into them during one of the bands, like we were all playing around, pushing each other, like you fucking do.
You horse around.
Yeah, exactly. You horse around. Well, some big fucking guy. Am I just really loud in my headphones, or am I just that fucking loud? I feel like I'm way loud, by the way.
No, your mic is low enough.
Okay, then maybe I'm talking really loud. So anyway, we rushed this group of girls that we were friends with. One of them was my buddy's girlfriend. Like, we were all having fun. Well, one of the bouncers grabs my friend and starts, kicking him out. And I step in front of the guy. This guy is easily twice my size. And
I know who it was.
Yeah, probably. There's a couple of people who it could be. But anyway, guy, and I go, whoa, dude, we're kidding around with our friends. He doesn't even hesitate. He picks me up like in a cartoon, walks with me.
Like you're a bag of groceries or something?
Dude. Yeah.
Fuck.
Walks with me, slides me across the ticket table, I swear to God, and then does one of these, throws me out down the stairs.
Like tossed you like a bag of...
tossed me.
Like a sack of potatoes.
I get back up and I shake it off, and then another guy, who you're probably thinking who it was, spits in my fucking eye. Well, maybe you're not thinking. Maybe I'll tell you afterwards. I don't even want to say the fucker's name on the podcast. But
I have an idea. But
yeah, spits in my fucking eye, all because we were horsing around with our friends that happened to be female, because they thought we were like dude, they didn't even try to talk to the women. They were like, so anyway.
Why would you?
I get kicked out of there, and I was there with a girl as well. A girl I was trying to date. This was like her first time ever being at a show and stuff.
You were seeing her.
Yeah. And I really liked this girl. And so so I get kicked out. She ends up getting picked up at the Happy Harry's. Remember the Happy Harry's? Everybody used to walk there and get sodas or whatever. So then it
became Walgreens.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then it's like me and a couple of friends are there, and we're hanging outside the pizza shop. We're waiting on our pizza. We see this fucking big gorilla motherfucker who looks like he had the T-skirt on, the big puffy coat, white boy with diamond earrings in his ears.
What's a T-skirt?
A big T-shirt. Remember when all the white dudes used to wear giant T-shirts?
Like tall tees?
Sure, I don't know.
That's what they're called.
Okay, but remember they were like way too big and it looked really stupid?
Yeah, I'm glad that's kind of gone by the wayside.
Thank God.
Except for in certain lower income areas where stuff doesn't exactly progress, you'll still see those people. They hang out at gas stations.
Well, exactly. So this motherfucker's waiting outside of Happy Harry's, and I see him, which is now Walgreens. Yeah. So, and I see him, and I'm trying to tell him, he's fucking knocking on the door, and I'm like,
what door?
The Happy Harry's.
It didn't slide open at that point?
No, it's closed at this time.
Oh,
because this was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. I think it must have been like 10 because it had just closed. So I was like, or maybe they closed at 9 at that point. Anyway,
whatever.
So I'm trying to tell this guy, hey man, Happy Harry's is closed, and he's like, what'd you fucking say?
I wouldn't have said shit.
And then I was like, oh shit, this motherfucker. And this girl who was with us was like, oh my God. And she had this big boyfriend who was with us. So I was like not even worried. So I was like, don't worry, this motherfucker in a big puffy coat ain't gonna do shit. And he walks over to me and he starts yelling at me. And I was like, yeah, I said, my big mouth. I was like, yeah, I said you weren't gonna do shit, dude. He's hopped up on so many drugs.
Why would you ever say that to somebody?
Because he was being an asshole. He started calling me out first. And so anyway, then this dude's family pulls up in a big fucking like Lincoln Escalade. And they were super... Yeah, my bad. Lincoln Navigator. I'm thinking the... what was it? The
Cadillac.
Cadillac Escalade. So this was a Lincoln Navigator. And they're super white trash. Like, if it wasn't fucking obvious.
In a Navigator?
Yeah. But it was like all shitty. You know what I'm saying?
Shitty Navigator?
Yeah, it was like all fucked up. Like
sure
it was
wasn't
older.
Like a Suburban or something?
Yeah. And so, yeah. So the mom looks like she had been doing meth for a minute. His sister was there and shit. She was all white trashy, whatever. So they're like, "Hey, what's going on over here?" And I was like, "Hey, like he's like won't leave us alone. I don't know who he is." And then my buddy says, "Yeah, your boyfriend like won't leave us alone," because she just pulled up. That's what it was. She just pulled up and he was like, "Yeah, your boyfriend won't leave her alone." And it ended up being his sister in the seat next to anyway.
Yeah.
And she was like, "That's my brother." And then like, you know how people in Delaware get super upset about that shit though? They'd be like, "That's my cousin." I
think people do that.
Okay, but yeah, that they always get like that. And so he was like, "Okay, my bad, your brother." And then the mom comes out and everybody's standing in a circle. And my buddy is trying to be like funny and dissolve the situation by like making fun of me. He's like, "Oh, come on, man. Like look at him. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's wearing tight jeans and being," I was like, "Oh, this fuck." I was like, I was ready to fight this guy and get my ass kicked. And my buddy's trying to dissolve the situation, which looking back was probably the right thing to do. But anyway, so as my buddy is just doing it, all he does is like literally he just puts his arms out like this, and I guess he like bumped into this guy's mom, who's all methed out, and she goes, "He just pushed me."
Exactly.
This fucking big gorilla fuck knocks my friend out. He hits him. He punches him in the head. My buddy goes into the brick wall that pizza place is, it's all one big brick like shopping center. Mm-hmm. He fucking drops to the ground. I'm trying to fight this guy. He slams me up into a wall. And I was like, "What are you going to do? Beat me up?" And then he fucking just drops me and his mom's yelling at him, "Get in the car," and they skirt off.
Classic.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bad night, dude. That was all. Oh my god, what a piece of shit night.
What a bunch of stupid decisions.
But stuff like that used to happen so much when we were younger. Do you remember that?
Not to me.
Oh, all the time to me.
No, you have a fucking knack for getting yourself into trouble.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You just said you antagonized the guy. You just said that.
After I tried to help him and say, "Hey, Happy Harry's at the time was closed."
Sure. His response to your attempt should have told you everything you needed to know.
But what am I going to do?
Avoid him.
"Sorry, dude."
That's exactly what you do. Say, "Oh, whatever.
He was high off his ass.
What's open?"
Nothing.
Something's open. It's fucking freezing. There's a draft. Something's open.
Well, you're in a t-shirt now.
We're inside.
Well, I got multiple layers on because I keep it at 68. What do you keep your thermostat at
68.
Home?
Anyway,
different homes.
Everything about his response should have told you everything you needed to know.
It did. I mean,
and you went the other way.
Yeah, it was a bad night.
It could have been.
We've all had bad nights.
Yes.
Anyway, welcome to another episode of Thank You for Your Services podcast.
Don't step on me. Don't fucking step on me. I'll mute your mic. Everything that you need.
Loud enough.
Everything that you need to know about somebody like that would have been told to you when he gave you shit for telling him that the store was closed. So naturally, to armchair quarterback a little bit. Or Monday morning.
What does that mean?
Like, you know how when, like, the trope of, like, everybody watches football the next day on Monday morning.
Oh, you mean like hindsight is 20/20?
Yeah, everybody's like, "Oh, fucking Carson Wentz should have done this, or he should have ran it up the middle. They should have fucking covered this, whatever."
Sure. I see what you're saying now.
Anybody can be a quarterback from the armchair.
You mean like internet tough guy? That's what I always call over the phone tough guy.
This saying precedes that.
Right. I get it now.
So anyway, to do that a little bit, I would have simply been like, clearly he doesn't give a shit that the store is closed, so I don't give a shit about him.
Yeah.
Then I would have been like, whatever, and just turned around and left.
Yeah, but you and I have talked about this before, because you ran into the guy that jumped you one time.
I did.
Yeah, and you walked away.
I did.
Whereas every time somebody has an issue with me, I'm always very upfront. I don't want to fight anybody. Obviously, I'm a small person.
No, but you want to antagonize them.
No, I don't want to antagonize them. But if they're going to speak to me, I'll speak to them directly. That's what I do.
It should be assumed, though, when they respond like that they don't want to be spoken to at all.
Well, I don't want to either.
Then don't.
I'm saying I don't want to be spoken to at all.
Well, sometimes you can't help it.
Neither can they.
Plus, you talked to him first.
Yeah, I said the store was
You
closed.
shouldn't have to do it even further. I wouldn't have even done that. They see the door's locked. They don't need you to be like, "Hey, store's closed."
They're banging on the window.
Then let him bang. What are you gonna do? Open it?
Oh my God.
You don't have a key. I would have fucking walked away.
Cool. Thanks. Thank you for all this really helpful information. Appreciate it.
Hey, next time,
Next time,
you probably won't antagonize the giant guy.
Oh,
I don't know.
Nah, I probably will.
Or his redneck family.
Oh God. Yeah, they're all probably dead somewhere now. They gotta be. Maybe that night.
That.
If Christ is on my side.
Ew. I hate where this is going. This is episode 54. In case you haven't heard already. Stop swallowing like that. Ugh. Oy vey. That's much better. You can swallow however you want.
Go on.
This is where we've come to. I tried.
I was telling a story.
It was a good story.
Yeah. Well, great storyteller.
It had an arc.
Get it from my dad. An arc. And my dad's a really good storyteller.
There was conflict. There was drama. Had everything.
Yeah. Violence.
Even
It's about violence. Quote Danzig.
I want to. Man, that makes me want to tell a story, but I don't know what to tell.
Oh,
I have some.
Okay. Are we not? Is this not a work episode?
I mean, it will be
All right.
eventually. We've always got work.
Oh yeah, dude.
Well, I'll relate it with conflict resolution.
Please, enlighten me.
In my old neighborhood in Willow Run, anybody from Delaware knows that is a pile of shit neighborhood, or used to be a pile of shit neighborhood.
The one near here?
Yes.
It looks like the neighborhood I grew up in.
Good
Hey,
evening.
honey.
Now it does.
Oh, was it different back then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Willow Run was a lot more like this neighborhood, if you catch my drift. Lots of white trash and just...
What the fuck? I like my neighborhood.
Well, you always said, like, there was drama with the police a few episodes ago.
Yo, we had a house fire 2 nights ago.
So what are you fucking getting high and mighty on me for?
Okay, it's kind of a it's got its weird...
It has weird shit happen, doesn't it? Does it not?
It's got strange people.
Willow
right?
Run... Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Willow Run had nothing but weirdos in that neighborhood. Tall tees as far as the eye can see.
Of course.
Shitty cars.
Yeah.
Basketball shorts. Fitted hats. Air Force Ones that got dirty.
Chin strap or
Oh yeah, razor thin,
remnants of what was trying to be a chin strap on their face.
Razor thin chin straps.
Yep.
Lots of probably fake jewelry from the farmer's market.
Trying to talk street.
Oh,
just the worst.
There was no trying. That was the language.
Just horrible.
That's just what it was.
Just whatever MTV told them was fucking rad, they were doing.
Anyway, my friends and I lived on the same street, so we hung out every day, pretty much. We were the only kids who skateboarded.
Was it just you and one other person? Is that what you're saying?
Let me tell the story, man.
That's what I'm asking. You said me and my friends.
Okay. There was my one friend lived down this way, down the street, and my other friend lived this way. And then every once in a while, there'd be a couple more in the group, but the other core members of our friend group lived not too far from here on Oak Avenue by the funeral home.
Oh, for real?
So they would come to our neighborhood and we would skate, would do whatever. So we were having problems with this one kid in the neighborhood because some of us dipped our little fingers into graffiti, and one of the kids in my neighborhood did that all the time. So that was like his life.
Right. He's a graph artist.
Sure, he was one of those people. He lived the lifestyle. Like, also, back then, the neighborhood was way more drug infested. Mm-hmm. In fact, the way the world is going currently, my old neighborhood did the opposite.
Oh, it flipped.
Yes. Like, all the stupid white trash people moved out, and Hispanic people moved in like in droves, and they all develop their homes. They have great lawns. Nobody, like, cops never go there anymore. The houses are worth more money now.
Yeah.
I would do anything to live in that neighborhood again now, the way it is now. Because back then, just it was awful. There was always a bunch of kids like down at the end of the street, like waiting for cars to drive by, selling drugs. So anyway, this one kid, the graph artist kid, like he was having problems with some of our friends, and we were trying to decide what to do when we eventually ran into him. So my one friend was like, all right, we should all have baseball bats on our person.
Oh my God, dude.
And
I'm gonna kill this kid.
Yeah. So we were we were practicing what we were gonna do if we saw him and when.
You guys practiced it?
Yeah, so
okay, that's hilarious.
one of us would walk up and three of us would rush with baseball bats, and all of us would take turns. We'd be like, all right, let me try next. And we'd be like, oh, it's so scary. It's so scary.
Jesus.
Like, if you've never been ran up on by three people with bats at the same time, it is pretty scary.
Fuck that, dude.
Well, eventually, we saw him, and we didn't do that.
Good.
Because we were young kids. He was older than us and, like, bigger and stuff. But our paths crossed, and we eventually just talked about it, and then we squashed it. And, and nothing happened.
Yeah. Because
we talked about it. Luckily, that day, he wasn't high, and he had, like... He had reason on his side and logic, and he was able to like converse and actually come to a conclusion and all that good stuff.
Thank God you didn't kill this kid with the bat.
He would have killed us.
Because shit,
he carried guns and stuff. So it was.
How old was he?
I don't know. He was a handful of years older than us, and we were teenagers.
So you were like 13, he was 18, kind of a thing?
It was probably something like we were 15, he was 19. I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. I just know we were young. But we didn't do that.
Thank God.
We talked it out. We didn't hit him with bats. But we were gonna. Because he like put word out. They'd be like, "Yo, what's his name is looking for you guys." And we were like, "We know."
I remember doing shit like that when we were younger.
That was just one instance.
People would meet up like this is like where my mom's house is at in like Upper Darby area, Drexel Hill area. People would meet up like at a certain park, and then you just like fight, and then
yeah,
and
we did that too.
Yeah,
this was an isolated incident where it was like 3-on-1 because
right.
It should have been 1-on-1 with the one kid, but we were like, nah, fuck that. He's not going to do that to him. He's younger than him. He's small.
Right.
So we were trying to be all like fucking strong and high and mighty.
Of course, dude. Stupid. Yeah, we all go through that shit, and then thank God, we didn't kill anybody, dude.
Thank God for the 1-on-1 fight, so I learned my fucking lesson.
Oh yeah, dude. I got my ass kicked so many times. I've kicked like
it's so important.
When I was younger, I was in Catholic school outside of Philly, and we didn't have a playground, so it was just a parking lot. So everybody just fought. That's just like what you did. Like it wasn't weird. And at the end of it, you know, there's always like the trope, like, oh, guys will just fight it out and be friends afterwards, and that's honestly how we did it. This one time I actually got jumped by 3 guys. And, guys. We were fucking, 8 years old or whatever. Or not, I guess we were 9. But,
3 boys?
That's what I mean. Three boys, yeah. But 2 of them held me, like, at the, on the arms. And one of them was going to, start beating me up, like punch me in the stomach, like some shit you see in like a mafia movie, like literally like, punching me in the face, punching me in the stomach. Mm-hmm. And I hate admitting this, but I kicked him in the nuts, I think.
Good.
And then I was able to break free. And then we fought for a little bit and I won. And then we were friends. After that, we were like good friends. It was really weird.
You should have told that story. That story was much better.
No, I mean, it was stupid. We're 9, And it's just like...
That's all the more reason to tell it.
You just fought every day. Like, it wasn't...
You won. You won the fight, as you should have.
I haven't been in a fight. I don't even remember. I mean,
doesn't matter.
I got in a fight that was broken up like 10 years ago. Other than that, yeah, I haven't really been in a fight.
Good. It's not cool to get in fights.
Not at our age, it's not cool. Unless if you win, it's kind of cool.
No, it's not.
But if you
Then you're
lose,
just a douche.
God.
I mean, everybody wants to be like justice, like vindicated, and
Right?
stuff,
but
that's
it's
lame too.
Yeah, it is kind of lame.
It is lame. I'll tell you what. Let's get into some work shit. I don't like the storytelling shit. I don't like I don't like where I came from.
So we had drill last weekend. I was talking about it on the podcast.
You said it was coming up.
Yeah, it was last week.
So it happened.
Yeah, it happened already. Drill was a bummer, like it always is. We had to shoot our electronic. It's called EST. I honestly don't even remember. Are you eating the pirate booty?
Are you eating into a microphone with a speaker? Oh my god! I'm just busting your ass.
We can hear it perfectly.
It's so crazy.
No, it's okay. Hey, honey, I bought a Mole People action figure today. I found it at Walmart. Yeah, it was cool. I couldn't find your Gengar thing. Anyway, drill. We had this thing called EST, and let me tell you, I hate it. I'm terrible at it. It's electronic shooting, so it's like a virtual fucking it's shooting virtually, and I hate them. I never do well on those. That was lame. You had to shoot with a gas mask on. Also lame. I mean, we have to do it in real life too, but it's like for some reason it's easier in real life than it is on the electronic shooting. Everybody's like this, like you have to like turn your weapon. It looks ridiculous.
Sounds awful.
It is. It's stupid. Dude, when I think about World War I, I'm like, I would have died
the greatest generation.
Number 0. Yeah. Like World War I was insane. First of all, you had to wear a gas mask at all times because mustard gas was fucking rampant and it was trench warfare. So if you're not dying from mustard gas poisoning, you're fucking getting infections from like gout and swamp foot and like every fucking thing possible.
Trench foot.
Thank you. Swamp foot.
Gout comes from food, I think.
That's from bad diet, yeah. But you can get it from like infections and shit. When we were in basic training, we had people that would get since my whole personality is basic training, we would have people that would get trench foot and like dude, this one girl, I think I told this story before. I can't remember. I was in charge of her and we had to leave for a 12-mile ruck, and it was like, I don't know, 4 a.m. or something. It's still dark out, maybe 5. And she was like, "Can you help me get my boot on?" I was like,
no.
"Yeah, sure."
No.
Yeah, it was Garcia.
I can't.
And I was like, "Sure, Garcia. What's up?" And then she was like, "My foot is like peeling away." And I was like, "Okay, I got you. Don't worry." And I picked up the boot, and I was like, it was like hard on the outside, and I shined my flashlight on it, smothered in blood, dried blood, dude. I was like, "Holy shit, man!"
You always got to be a fucking hero. That's your problem.
What?
You always got to be a hero.
What do you mean?
You get the funky foot.
That wasn't me. That was her.
Yeah, she was like, "Help me," and you're like, "Okay, I will."
Well, I was in charge of her. I was a squad leader.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you have to like now I have 2 soldiers underneath of me, and
hey Jay,
I have to like
go mind that foot.
Yeah. Not Jay. Jay is not under me.
Hey, Jump, go mind that foot.
No, Jump is not under me either.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just funny. So yeah, it was gross. But no, so drill happened. It was dumb. I have a couple soldiers under me. We had to do, like, how do I put this? We need to promote people soon. So we had to do a rating system of like the people that are about to get promoted. All the E4s, we have to promote them to E5. We have to promote them, make them sergeants.
You have to?
Yeah.
Why?
It's part of it. That's what you do. Because
what if they're not good enough?
Well, we pick the ones that are.
Okay.
That's like how you do it.
So it's just time. Okay.
Yeah, I had never done anything like that before. I came out of the room we were all doing that in, and I was like, I didn't really get it. I was like, I feel terrible. Like they were basically training us on how to rate our soldiers, that kind of a thing.
You're doing employee evaluations, essentially.
It really, really was an employee evaluation. Yeah. And some of the skills that are listed, I'm like, I don't know. It felt very America's Next Top Model kind of a thing, and I didn't like it. But now that I have a better understanding of it, I see why we have to do it like
You're
that.
such a Tyra. That's so funny.
I don't even. Yeah, I've never seen it. But
then why reference it?
Because that's the only thing I would know. You
just admitted you don't know it.
But what? Okay, what would you call it that I would know? What's something I would know?
What do you mean?
I don't know. You're gonna have to grade people on all this shit, and like I don't spend that much time with certain people. So anyway, I had to grade some of my soldiers, who at least I spent time with. So me and another guy had to compare our notes and go over. It was interesting. It was one of the harder things I've had to do. That sounds really dumb to people. Maybe they're like, oh, I have to fucking cut hot iron all day and stuff. But like this was odd because I was in their position not too long ago, a year ago. And I'm like, this is how people were rating me? I'm so much more than these fucking 7 categories. Like, I'm a really hard worker, but maybe I'm not a great shot. Or maybe I'm not good at land nav, but I'm really good at always showing up and carrying heavy things or what, So I hated that you had 7 categories to grade these people in. And I just didn't like it. But I understand why we have to do it like that. And I think I rated my soldiers very fairly. So I hope these people get promoted. I don't like being in that sort of position of power where like something I say can affect someone's career. It's an odd thing.
Oh, you don't want to like turn somebody's ship like 1 degree off.
Right. Like I want to grade people fair as possible. And I want to be graded as fair as possible, but I also don't want to fuck them. Like, I don't want to fuck them over.
Well...
And it's just how it goes.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah, exactly. And so, it was odd. It was just my first time ever having to do it. I mean, like, I've been in charge of people in the civilian world before. Like, I've been a manager and whatever. But that's different. I can take the time to... Like, when I was cutting hair, I was a manager. I was also kind of in charge of training new people. Not kind of. I was in charge of training new people because nobody else would really take people under them to do it. So that was something I knew really well. I was like, okay, here's what I do. Watch me do it. And now I'll help you through your next haircut. And any questions you have, I'll answer. And I was really good at that. When it's based off of these things that I'm not great at, like, because the Army's like, I'll just say this. Maybe like 20% of the entire Army is like really good at the Army. The other 80% are kind of just like fucking forever wanderers, if that makes sense. It's a lot of people just sort of faking it until they can make it through.
If they make it through.
Exactly. If they can retire or whatever. And that's tough, man. Like it was hard to grade people. It sounds like it's not, I'm not explaining it very well, but it is. It was hard for me to grade people.
Well, with a limited set of parameters, for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like other people in any field can relate because they have to do it themselves. Here's what I don't like about it, and this is probably what I don't like. It becomes a gossipy contest, especially when there's a lot of people comparing notes and well, I saw them do this one time, and
that always happens.
And I know, and I don't like that. I wish I could sit down with each of my soldiers and go, hey, here's what I think you're good at. Can you prove to me that you're good at these things, and can you give me examples or whatever? That's how I would like to do it. Because once you sit somebody down, in my opinion, in any field, whether it's barbering or I don't really know how the accounting world works, I'm sorry. But if you sit somebody down and be like, hey, man, or hey, girl, or whatever you call people. Hey, you, yeah. But I always say dude. I usually just say dude. It's a bad habit, but it just happens.
You don't do that.
Yeah. So I'm like, hey, dude, here's what I think you're struggling with. Here's my recommendations. Like, let's make this better. Like, I don't want to see you fail. When the tide is high, all ships rise. I truly believe that. The Army is not so much like that. The Army's like, fuck them. Like a lot of the time.
That's what a lot of jobs are like too.
You're right. It's
Eventually.
just not my way of doing it. I didn't just like let somebody down when they were. I didn't just like not be there for them when they were learning to cut hair. I was like, hey, let's like I'll stay after with you, man. I'll teach you how to do this fade. I'll teach you how to do this flat top, whatever. Do you get stuff like that at your job? Like, do you guys get rated like that?
It's not really part of my repertoire. That's the onus of that is on the manager or our controller, our boss.
Okay.
But there are certain people. I mean, our department is also very small. It's 4 people, and then my boss, and then the payroll lady doesn't work with us. She's just in the finance. Well, anyway, there's 4 of us, and some of us are stronger at some things than others. So because my boss is a good manager, she knows how to apply people to do certain things.
Okay.
Like, I'm really good with Excel and reports and shit that takes a lot of fucking time. And my other coworker who never wants to leave ever is really good at sometimes to her chagrin, but other times it comes in handy, is really good at pulling threads and just pulling and unraveling and finding pieces of contracts and like paperwork and all this other stuff. And then our other coworker who's awful at the computer, like to a detrimental degree awful at it, is really like unbeatable with customers. So everybody's good at something and we all get applied accordingly.
So that manager delegates real well.
Exactly. She's
Gotcha.
the best leader I've ever had. No question. And when it comes time for one of us to do something that we're less good at or not good at all, i.e. use Excel or leave on time,
Sure.
it's my boss calls it a training opportunity.
That's funny. We have a similar saying in the Army.
So rather than do it with criticism, she does it as she's more of a take under your wing kind of thing, even though it's also a classic case of if you want something done, give it to a busy person.
Oh yeah.
Because my boss is spinning 15 plates at the same time.
Sure.
So even though it's like that sometimes, if you want something fixed, or if like me today, I was working on a really difficult thing for the month end close because we're closing December still, but I finished it today because I've done it for a few months now, and every month I start to get more and more familiar with it. And it's a lot of fucking work. It took me all day, or almost all day, but I'm asking her less and less questions, and I'm getting through it. So it's just like you gotta recognize people's weaknesses and fucking work on it.
I forgot to tell you, I had my first big win at work.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so I'll say almost 2 weeks ago now, about a week and a half ago, I had to replace a part called a transfer module. We just call it transfer mod. Couldn't really I could kind of explain what it does, but it's kind of boring. It's a crucial
part, right?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it transfers
stuff.
Hydraulic power.
Okay. Fine.
So, yeah, and it was the old one was leaking hydraulic fluid, which is really bad. And I had to I was tasked with replacing this. I had never done this before. I had somebody sort of guiding me through it, but I had to do all the safety wire by hand, which is a real pain. It's a really hard spot to get into with your fingers. And typically people use a safety wire gun for it, but the guy who was guiding me was like, "Nah, don't do that. Do real safety wire." Which I've talked about safety wire on here before, right? Mm-hmm. Where you have to do that, yeah. So, so
you're replacing this transfer module.
So I replaced the whole thing. I did all the steps properly. I kept checking for leaks. A couple days go by, no leaks or whatever. Somebody else worked on the engine portion of it. They did the last little bit that needed to go on there. They ran it up. She did great. So I was really fucking happy about that. Because when you, I've talked about this probably a million times, but when you do something on these birds, like it's a big deal. Like if you fuck up, somebody could die. So
somebody could die. It's a multi-million-dollar piece of equipment.
yes,
and all this.
yada yada yada. So I had my first like win. I was like, all right, cool. She fly. She's doing good. Let's hopefully stays good.
It flies thanks to you specifically.
I mean, yeah, just that part. That part
in this instance.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
other people, a lot of people worked on that bird with me.
That is a win, though.
It was a win. I was really, really happy that there was no leaking. I was so happy. That was a big relief off of my shoulders. Some of that stuff keeps me up at night. Because I can't, I bring work home with me all the time. I just do. So, yeah, I think about that shit all the time.
You got to do something about that.
That's just how my brain works.
Nah, there's ways to reframe stuff, and there are things that you can do about it, and it will make your life better.
Maybe.
So you should.
I got a lot of hobbies, so
that's
helps.
not good enough.
Oh, thanks.
Because when you lay down at night and you're starting to think about it again,
yeah.
that means it's not working. The hobbies end, and your sleep begins, or tries to begin, and you can't sleep because you're back at work.
I also have OCD. I think that's like a big part of it.
See,
I can't leave well enough alone.
When people say OCD... We've talked about this before, too.
Yeah. I have the real one.
You have
I have the really bad one.
You have the legitimate one.
Yeah.
Where you don't look forward to going home because there's things you have to fix.
Oh my God. Shit. That's funny you say shit like that. Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, no, I can't go to break before leaving this. They're like, no, it's break time. But I know that can change after, there's guys in there that are there for, 15, 20 years. And they're like, no, it's fucking break time. And I'm like, I get it.
Well, they're desensitized.
Right. But even when I was cutting hair, so many barbers were like, nah, dude, you don't have to go that far into detail. And I was always like, no, I do though, or else I will think about it. And I did that for 12 years. I was exactly the same way. I never changed. I was always like, no, I'm not going to just say fuck it and do half a good haircut.
Nah, I still think you should try and do something about that.
I'm doing good.
Doesn't sound like it.
All right, let's get to these plates.
What plates?
Your license plates.
Oh, you want to change
it's
subjects
funny, you
suddenly.
fucking said plates earlier, and I go, what are you talking about, plates? And you were like, license plates. Well, and now I said plates, and you're like, what are plates?
I knew what you're talking about, and I'm bringing up that you're changing subjects because I'm trying to...
I'm tired of this subject. I tire of this. Oh, wait. Before we do plates, let's talk about tomorrow.
No, let's not talk about tomorrow.
You want to talk about it next week?
I don't want to talk about it at all.
Oh, you're so lame. Okay.
Not lame. This is how we're making something. I've talked about it on the show before.
Yeah, we're making a movie.
We're making a film, and I'll leave it at that.
Yes.
Coming soon, more details to come as they develop.
Mm-hmm. Very excited.
But look forward to it because it's gonna be gross and it's gonna be cool.
It is gonna. We were discussing how to do special effects today.
The end.
All right, go on.
I did see
I didn't see any.
None? Well, no. Good. I saw 6 of them.
Okay, good.
One of them I saw within 10 minutes of parking at your house.
Oh, fantastic.
So
which was it?
America.
That's pretty good.
It's spelled exactly how you think it is.
Yep.
Except with a K instead of a C.
Oh.
So that tells me they went for America with a C, and they're like, oh, it's taken, but I still want this stupid plate. I'll spell it with a K and be cool in my Jeep.
Oh, man.
Idiot.
America.
These ones aren't funny, but they're goofy. I saw ISM STI. I was like, what the fuck? ISM space STI. And then the STI, yeah, that's what I did. And I was like, oh, the car is an STI, but what is ISM? Anyway. And I saw Rossi. It must have been somebody's last name.
I've seen that one.
It's some blue thing, but
yeah.
I saw it the other night. Here's the good ones. I saw Neneng.
What was it?
Neneng.
Neneng.
Neneng. I don't know what the fuck it means, but it was a
Neneng.
It's a silly word.
Is that? That's nothing backwards, right? No.
I guess.
Yeah.
I saw She-Devil.
Oh, that's rad. I like that. She-Devils are cool.
It's on the back of a big truck, so
of course.
definitely some badass.
reminds me of like those fucking dumbass stickers that say "Silly boys, Jeeps are for girls." Oh my fucking god!
Hey,
I hope it flips over.
Hey, maybe she was somebody's sister. You know what I mean? Somebody in a tall tee.
She's somebody's daughter, Tom. She's someone's daughter.
Everybody's somebody's daughter.
Except if you're not a daughter.
You could be.
Everybody's born a woman. Or born with cis female genitalia. That's
and right. I saw unknown.
Ooh.
Spelled out in full. Unknown.
Now that's a mysterious person. That reminds me. We saw an awesome movie last night.
What was that?
So, okay. The title is Shin Ultraman. You know I'm a big Ultraman fan.
Okay.
I thought... Okay. Don't want to hear about it? All right. So...
Was it mysterious or what?
Oh, so there's... Okay. So, Ultraman, the original series, has a really cool character. He's like a pretty bad villain named Baltan. Baltan, sorry. So, yeah.
Baltan.
And he comes to Earth and is like, he tries to trick the humans into thinking Ultraman's a bad guy and he's really a good guy. And, oh, hey, you guys have to destroy Ultraman because... I'm the savior to humanity, and I can show you, and I can take away all of your electricity and put it back.
Bad guy.
Exactly. And he shows up in a rad little detective coat with a hat covering his eyes and stuff, and he kind of looks like Spooky Mothman almost. Anyway, so Shin Ultraman was Hideki Anno's version of Ultraman. It just came out. It came to American theaters on Wednesday and Thursday only of this week.
And you went to the theater?
We went to the theater, yeah. So we did.
Okay.
Yeah, Liz and I went to the theater. So they did the same thing with Shin Godzilla in 2016. They only released it for like 2 or 3 days. It was dubbed, which was a little weird. I was expecting it to be subtitled.
I hate dubbed movies.
I don't mind dubbed as much as most people do. I think it's fine, but
I don't like it.
It sometimes things translate weird, and it just some of the stuff we were like some of the jokes really landed. Other times I was like, I think they kind of like. It's mistranslated this or something. But once it comes out on DVD, I'll buy the DVD and I'll watch the OG.
Dubs totally take away from the performance, though, because the voice actor doesn't always vocalize the same way the actor intends to.
I agree.
It can totally change how a scene is read or perceived.
Of course.
I hate dubs.
But for American audiences, which I hate to say that, but it's true.
We're stupid.
A lot of people just don't want to read subtitles, and I'm like, that's insane.
It's ridiculous.
I will say Shin Godzilla was extremely wordy, and it was a lot of it was political satire. And I think that was a big complaint, was there were so many pieces of dialogue in that film that he definitely cut it down this time. It was a lot quicker paced than Shin Godzilla, yada, yada, yada. It was awesome. I just want to say I'm a huge fan of what Hideki Anno is doing with kaiju films at the moment. I think he can be anyway, this isn't very interesting for the audience. I just want to say I'm a giant Ultraman fan. I met the original Ultraman back in 2015. He's been a childhood hero of mine. It was really cool to see Shin Ultraman. I was really excited to see it. We're going to go see Megan on Sunday.
Yeah, Mel and her friends are going to see it too.
When? Sunday?
I don't know.
I was going to say, we should all go together.
No.
Okay, you don't want to see it?
I sure don't.
I wanted to go to the movies tonight because Friday the 13th is playing.
I mean, you can still go.
No, the last showing of it is about to happen. It's fine. I own all the movies. It just would have been cool to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, I guess.
So I'm gonna put on part 7 tonight. It's a good one. And what else? I don't know. It was kind of a weird week. I guess there's some stuff at work I can't talk about because it's like Secret Squirrel shit. But
what's Secret Squirrel?
You don't remember Secret Squirrel?
What do you mean remember? I don't know what it is.
It was a cartoon.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Secret Squirrel and baby, what was Secret Squirrel's sidekick? The mole? Morocco Mole. There you go. Anyway, really?
No.
Wow. That's a
Sorry,
shame.
I was busy being fucking cool.
Yeah.
Skateboarding.
Okay, Rock Band shirt. I skateboard.
This is Guitar Hero.
I
not Rock
guarantee
Band.
I'm a better skateboarder than you.
Yeah, great job. I can't stand up straight, stupid. Yeah, anybody is.
Could you imagine saying that sentence in any other context? I can't stand up straight, stupid.
Yeah, I can't
Wouldn't
stand
that
up
mean
straight.
you're stupid?
Comma, stupid.
Yeah, wouldn't that mean you're stupid if you can't stand up straight?
No. It's dialogue to somebody else. It's punctuated. No, it would never be translated wrong. Unless you're stupid.
Okay. All right, Skinamarink. Oh, speaking of which, that movie comes out today, Skinamarink. I'm very excited to see it. You haven't heard of it?
What the fuck
it's
is
supposed
that?
It's supposed to imitate a child's nightmare. It's really cool looking. I don't want to
Sounds awful.
I don't want to do too much research into it because I want to be pleasantly surprised. But I hear it's really just eerie.
You know what?
What?
I saw a trailer for a new A24 movie.
What's it called?
It was called... Oh, fuck. I don't remember. My phone is filming this podcast. I can't look it up. But you could.
You want me to look up the A24
Just
film?
search Joaquin Phoenix A24. It's gonna come out soon. But the trailer... if I could remember the name of the movie, I could start connecting dots. But Joaquin Phoenix is in it.
Beau is Afraid.
Yes. It's an Ari Aster movie.
Oh, the new Ari Aster film. Got it. Yeah, Joey sent that to me the other day.
Did you watch the trailer?
I have not seen the trailer yet. He just told me, hey, the new trailer is getting released later today.
Okay, so I don't want to spoil too much of it, but because maybe you'll get the same impression that my buddy Martello did. He's like, I cannot fucking wait for this movie. But I thought it just looked... I don't know. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil it for you. Because you might like it.
So, I think Ari Aster...
I've always heard Aster.
Okay, Ari Aster. I think he's probably gonna be the next, big director where, everyone will want him to do their movie.
Sure. I think we're in the same camp. Say what we will about Midsommar and Hereditary, but they were hits.
Well, he is an incredible director. Those are not my stories that I'm into. We were talking about this with that band we were talking about earlier, where it's me. I don't care if I never watch Midsommar again. To me,
I don't think I do either.
I thought it was good.
Me too.
Really good. Really well done.
Did you think it was better than Hereditary?
It's funny.
Such a different movie.
So when I watch movies, I don't compare them to each other, if that makes sense.
That's fair. I think because
Yeah.
they were the same director, I couldn't help but do it. I was like, oh, I like that way more than Hereditary.
Right. And I try to judge each film on its own. Yeah, because sometimes you'll have somebody do a film. Okay, Tim Burton. Tim Burton is a perfect example of this because Tim Burton can do something like Edward Scissorhands, right? Which is a gothic, epic fairy tale type movie mixed with 1950s mid-century modern suburbia, which a beautiful film.
It's kind of campy a little bit. It's
funny,
funny,
but it's
goofy.
so sad.
It is very
but
sad.
At the end of the day, there's a very sad film. Then he does something like Ed Wood, which is a completely different film, where it just goes to show you, say what you will about Tim Burton in the last 10, 15 years.
I wouldn't have guessed in a million years that he did Ed Wood. But that's my buddy Evan's favorite movie of all time.
Well, it's one of my... Ed. I'm a huge Ed Wood fan. I have all of his characters tattooed on my leg, and I'm actually... Oh, really?
I never knew that. I never see your legs.
Oh, okay. Well, I own every single one of his movies. I just love who Ed Wood is, just because of... and I don't want to get into too much of my personality per se on the podcast, my personal life, but...
That's what this is for. Fuck it.
Yeah, but there's some stuff I don't want to share. But... Ed Wood, to me, if you know anything about Ed Wood, he means a lot specifically to me. And he did that film Ed Wood, which, by the way, was up for Oscars. Martin Landau won Best Supporting Role for that film. He played Bela Lugosi, who I also, I have him tattooed. I'm a huge Bela fan. And it just goes to show you how dynamic Tim Burton is. I mean, think about it. He did
Batman.
fucking both Batmans, for the Michael Keaton Batmans.
good ones.
The good ones.
The
exactly.
really good ones.
Exactly. Then he goes and does Ed Wood. Then he goes and does Edward Scissorhands. Sleepy Hollow, brilliant film. Beautiful film.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, exactly. he does everything with Johnny Depp. He did not direct.
Not someone else.
He did not direct Nightmare Before Christmas, but he definitely wrote it.
I thought he just created it or whatever.
He did, but didn't he get like Neil Sedakis or whatever, Sedaka to direct it?
I don't know.
Something like that.
I don't know. Robert Zemeckis.
What?
I'm kidding.
Okay. But like the stories I go to see are things like Malignant. That was my favorite movie of last year. I'll say that.
I think I watched it.
About the woman who had the fetal twin, the parasitic twin.
No, I never. No,
All right.
I didn't.
Well,
watch
I'm not
it,
going to
but
say any more.
Everybody I know says to see it. So
That movie, and I'm telling you, people didn't like it when it first came out, and I said, give this movie like 10 years, and people are going to fucking love it. And they already the horror community is like starting to be like, oh yeah, that was a good movie.
everybody I know loved it. Who likes that stuff?
And when because I'm part of a lot of horror forums and stuff, and I talk to people, and they're like, yeah, I wasn't into it. I don't get it. And I'm like, dude, like, it's a beautiful film, and it's very close to like a giallo film, which I love giallo movies, like Italian horror. So I feel like I'm just putting the audience to sleep with this.
Like the movie Basket Case.
Yeah, Basket Case. Yeah, great movie.
I thought of a perfect guest. We'll talk about it later.
Okay, cool.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What the fuck? But anyway, that trailer. Oh yeah, I don't want to give away too much. Did you like the movie Moonrise Kingdom?
Yes,
Okay.
of course.
Then I want to watch this trailer a second time. I want to watch it with you, and I want to get thoughts on it.
Are you not normally a Wes Anderson fan?
I fucking hate it.
Whoa,
I hate it.
That's wild to me.
I can't stand those fucking movies.
Wait, so who's like your who's like a director you see as like the cinematic like goldmine? Like,
God damn it, I don't know.
would you say like Scorsese?
He's way up there for sure. He's definitely top 3, but I would never call him my favorite. Mm-hmm. He's made some of my favorite movies, but
Like, what's your favorite movie of all time?
fuck, probably Gangs of New York.
Really?
Nah,
It's a great movie.
The Warriors is my favorite.
No, yeah,
doubt.
I forgot you told me that.
That's my favorite
That's a
movie.
great movie too. Now, what do you like so much about that movie? Do you just like the story?
I love the story.
Me too.
It's
but the
amazing.
acting's not good.
The acting's objectively bad.
But it's still a wonderful film.
It's a great story. It's shot really, really fucking
Shot
cool.
very, very well.
The dialogue is like, I guess, as authentic.
No, no, it's not.
It's not authentic, but it works. And like and the characters and the costumes and the sets and like I love that movie.
So would it be safe to say you like gang movies?
I definitely lean that way. Sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of young people like guys our age typically love to watch gang movies.
I think a lot of guys do.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
you're right.
I also like. Well, I also like. I like a good thriller. I like a good crime movie.
Oh yeah.
I like a good. I like a good war movie. If it's done really well, I love a good war movie.
Like you saw 1917.
I loved that movie.
Probably my favorite. Like I don't really like military movies.
I
and, like,
couldn't
war
get
movies.
enough of that movie.
That movie's incredible.
I thought it was crazy.
I need
good.
to show Liz that movie, but I keep forgetting.
I'd watch that right now.
Yeah.
If you put it on.
I would too. I
just,
kind of
like-
want to watch it.
Well, I mean, you can't help it the way it's shot. You can't
It's
stop it.
so good. It's so good.
And just but to your point, like I also like horror. I don't think I have a favorite director. I don't know.
See, my favorite film.
I hate to fucking not answer, but
No, it's fine. My favorite film of all time is Martyrs.
Martyrs.
Yeah, I've said that 1,000 times on this.
well, to me personally, yeah.
But I wouldn't say Pascal Laguerre. I don't know how to really say his name. It could be like Laguerre or whatever. He's very
Probably.
French. Yeah. He's not my favorite director, but I think it's like what we were talking about. It's like I don't judge them. I don't just go like, oh, it's an Ari Aster movie, I'm going to see it. Because I did that with The Witch. and I was like, oh, I can't wait to see his next movie. Robert, oh God, what is his name?
Smith.
Not Robert Smith. Honey, what's the guy?
Johnson.
Actually, she probably wouldn't know. Robert Eggers. Robert Eggers. That's his name. So he did The Witch, which I thought was a brilliant film. And then he did...
Hey, man, we don't say Eggers anymore.
Yikes. And he did...
He did what?
I'm trying to fucking... Thanks, Tom.
What?
Oh, my God.
I'm the one
You
vomiting.
get so mad when I interrupt you. What the hell was his next movie?
It was...
It was the Lighthouse.
I didn't
And
see
I
that
thought
either.
that movie was garbage.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I won't go see that director's movies. It's just that I drove like an hour to go see that movie. I was stationed at Eustis then in Virginia, and the only theater that was playing it was like an hour and some change away. Anyway, and I went to go see it, and I was like, that movie was absolute garbage, in my opinion. But then...
Some people hold that opinion.
No, I know, but like...
I've heard both.
Like,
though.
my wife loves that movie. She thinks it's great.
I have heard more people say they love it.
Sure, and I love Black and White, too,
But
which
I
I
have heard
was
both,
really upset that I
too.
didn't like it, because I was like, this movie has everything that I should like, but I just don't think it's a good film.
Should you watch it again?
No. You couldn't pay me to sit through that movie again. It was bad.
I've never seen it.
Watch it. You might like it.
I'll only watch it with you.
Why?
Because I want...
All right, fuck it. I'll watch it. I'll watch it with you.
I want you to watch it a second time. I want to finish that documentary.
Oh, yeah, that's a good documentary. So then he did one this past year called The Northman.
Everybody loves that movie.
Which
I haven't seen it either.
I thought was his best film yet. I thought that movie was so good. I couldn't get... That was a movie where I was like, when it ended, I was like, holy shit. I couldn't get enough of that movie. That's where like Liz and I were on the edge of our seats like the whole time. It was so good.
I gotta watch it.
That's how I was with Malignant. Malignant, the whole time, I was like, this movie keeps getting better, in my opinion. Like, it doesn't have any lull moments. Like, I was like, this movie is a perfect film. And I feel like... And I'm glad that James Wan has enough money where he can just make a movie like that and move on. Because it was so good. So good.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
I'm going to assign you some homework.
Okay.
We're doing a little crossover moment. In case...
can you plug your other podcast?
For anybody who's a fan of comedy, specifically comedy, like stand-up comedy, like funny shit, I do a podcast with my friend Dennis, former guest of the show, about comedy and extreme music called Irrelevant and Illiterate. And one of our bits, if you will, is that week to week, it goes for our guests too. We assign each other homework assignments, either one piece of comedy and one piece of music to intake, and we report on the following week. So, coming very soon, we're going to have a movie-specific episode, because normally our intake is just either stand-up specials, funny podcasts, Instagram pages, and like hardcore or metal or death metal or punk music of some kind. So we're doing 4 movies, and I need to take them all in and take notes about them. So I'm going to assign them to you too and see if you can have an opinion yourself, if you haven't seen them already. Those movies are Titan.
Somebody else just talked about that movie.
It's on Hulu for free if
Okay.
you have Hulu. Possessor, which I told you to see.
yeah.
That I would start with,
Okay.
because I'm really curious to see what your thoughts are on that movie, because it's more of a horror movie.
Okay.
What else was there? We already saw Barbarian. That was one of
I saw Barbarian.
There
yeah.
was, so I don't need to write that down.
Yeah.
And the 4th one was another movie I've seen already, so it's less important. But definitely Possessor and maybe Titan. I'm curious what you'd think about those.
What'd you think? Do you want to talk about Barbarian now or no?
In a second. These movies are both neon
Okay.
movies. You familiar with neon movies?
I can assume I know what it is, but go ahead.
Some movie studio, but anyway, yes.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the movie the production company.
Yes, Neon.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So those are both Neon films. They're very
That's
futuristic.
Cool. Yeah. So they're like almost like cyberpunky.
Yes, very much so. I liked Possessor a lot. Let's talk about Barbarian. Yeah, because we saw it weeks ago at this point. I saw it in theater. Did you?
No,
you saw it here.
I saw it here the day before Halloween. I think we watched it.
Okay.
Because we went to the new Wegmans that had just opened up, and we watched Barbarian.
It opened on the 26th. I love fucking Wegmans. I was just there.
So
Barbarian was cool, dude.
I thought Barbarian was very good, but it was almost like it was a bunch of stuff thrown together that all seemed to work out like too well. It was good. It was a really good. It was a good movie. It's another one where I'm like, yeah, I'll never go back to that.
Huh.
Yeah.
But did you think it was better than the other movie that you just said that about?
The Northman?
No, before that. Not The Lighthouse.
Midsummer.
Maybe. Might have been that, but I didn't know what to think of it.
I did not think it was better than Midsummer. Once again, they're so different.
They're pretty fucking different.
It's just that
they're such different stories too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess turn this off if you haven't seen Barbarian. We should probably say that.
Nah, I mean, it's been out long enough. You should have seen it by now if you wanted to.
But just in case. It's just fucking... There's a lot of people that aren't always up to date.
It's probably streaming, so turn this off for the next 2 minutes.
Yeah. I just think Barbarian had a really cool concept.
I thought so.
And then when they went into the serial killer aspect of it, and then how he was just... I don't know. It was okay. It was good. It just... I wasn't like super into these. I thought it was more interesting of a story before they started to do the flashbacks.
See, before the whole flashback thing, actually before the whole cellar world of the house, if you will, like
Justin Long, like that aspect, like the selling of the house.
No, like the basement.
Oh, the cellar. Gotcha. I got you.
Basement. Sorry.
No. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Before all that, I was like, "Where is this movie going? This is cool." And then, once once it became the movie that it became, like it started with the lady, and then we figure out that like she just wants to be a mother because she's like,
right.
She's become a creature at this point, and I didn't get the serial killer aspect of it. It seemed like more of a she was out to catch a baby, and then I guess he would be a serial killer.
Well, he's a serial killer. He's been keeping her captive for so long.
That's not what serial killers do. That's what captors do.
Yeah, but he killed everyone else.
But he killed them only because she brought them to him. In one way or another.
No. Remember, he would pretend to do work at different women's houses or different people's houses when only the wife was home. And then he would capture them and kill them. And he had like fetishes about keeping them captive.
And he had videotapes.
Yeah, exactly. But she was the one. So what had happened was he had kept her for so long and tortured her for so long. He got too old to do anything anymore. And she didn't know. She was so brainwashed and abused that she just stayed.
Yeah.
And so she was all fucked up in the head. So that's what happened. And she had gotten like crazy strength. Yeah, I think it was cool. It just seemed like it was okay. So this has been happening a lot lately where
I did not think that movie was going where it was going.
So, okay, let me give you an example of a director I think makes perfect horror films. There's a director right now he's like 35, so he's like our age. His name is Joe Begos. And he's made 5 movies, all like independently funded, mostly with his own money. And one of them is called Christmas Bloody Christmas, and it's available on Shudder right now. If you get a chance,
everybody sings that movie's praises.
Oh, so you have heard about it?
I've heard recently. Of it. Yeah.
So it just came out like in December 10th or something. Mm-hmm. Fantastic film. It's like a Terminator meets Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Like I've heard of people looking I heard people looking forward to that movie.
Yeah.
So I certainly heard about
I
it.
thought he made a perfect movie. In my opinion, he's like, he mixes like Tarantino dialogue with all the shit that horror fans I don't want to say know and love, because I don't like when people just go to what they know. It's what horror fans want out of a movie, if that makes sense. Like, he doesn't just throw random cameos in there. He's like, no, I love the Terminator, so I'm going to make my own version of Terminator without throwing Linda Hamilton in there or whatever, whatever. Like, he just, I don't know. I just like his stories. They're short. They're to the point. He doesn't like drag anything out. He builds up a whole bunch of tension. He does things very Tarantino-esque, very almost Hitchcock-esque, where he gets to know these characters really well. Like Hitchcockian, yeah. I mean, I'm a very big Hitchcock fan. I've seen I think every one of his films. There's some in the early days of his cinema, in his filmmaking career, that I haven't seen, like the stuff in the early 30s and stuff. I own a lot of it, but yeah, I love how Hitchcock makes movies. Anyway,
Made.
You're right, made movies. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could go on and on about movies. This isn't a movie podcast, but
hey, maybe one day it will be.
Right? Yeah.
I've enjoyed every minute of this.
Yeah, because like, I mean, shit, I could talk just Hitchcock, dude. Like, when I saw The Birds for the first time as a little kid, my mind was blown. I watched that movie on repeat, dude. I had taped it off the
TV.
Yeah, and I would just rewind. I had The Birds and Curse of the Werewolf with the British actor. I can't remember his name at the moment. But
there was a time on TV, like if you had a certain type of VCR, you could record whatever you were watching onto a blank VHS. And I think like people our age who did that, it would be very telling of what kind of personalities we have based on what movies or what things we recorded and kept off of our TVs.
Oh, most certainly, dude.
Because what did you keep? The Birds.
So I had any horror movie I could get my hands on, because I didn't have cable. So it was only what I could tape at my friend's house, or my dad had bought
I taped stuff
cable at his house, but I barely got to go there. What? Yeah. I taped Sonic the Hedgehog, not the Jaleel White version, the one right after that. It's called, they call it, like on the internet, it's called Sonic Sat AM, like the Saturday morning Sonic.
Okay, yeah.
Really good one. So I have episodes of that still. Like, I have them upstairs. I have upstairs the Cartoon All-Stars drug PSA.
Did you record it off TV?
Yeah, it has the commercials on there. I have like an episode of Roundhouse, which you probably don't even know what that is.
And every horror movie you could get your hands on?
Yeah. Oliver Reed. That was the name of the actor from Curse of the Werewolf. It just hit me.
I taped the original Kings of Comedy, starring Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, and D.L. Hughley. I stayed up late so that I could catch the uncensored version on Comedy Central. I had that. I had a Jim Brewer stand-up special.
Mm-hmm.
I had dozens of episodes of Comedy Central Presents.
Wow.
Because of Friday night stand-up would start at like 7 o'clock. Every Friday, like clockwork, I watched that shit until I went to bed.
I remember sleeping over my buddy's house and we'd watch that, and then we'd watch
Premium Blend, all that
Toonami, and they would show the unedited DBZ. That was like a huge deal for us. We thought we were going to see a boob.
Yeah.
Never did.
No, I had so much comedy taped. That's so funny because it's all I watch now.
Yeah, no, that is funny. Do you still have the tapes?
I wish. I have no idea.
You're more of a minimalist. See, I save everything.
I hate saving shit.
And that's all I do, obviously. Like, my house is a toy museum. But,
and a DVD museum, too.
Well, yeah, I have a lot of movies.
Or more like a DVD, like, storage locker.
Well, I think a lot of people our age who also grew up, like, with no money are just like me, where they love physical media. So they collect, like a lot of people I follow on Instagram are huge DVD and VHS collectors like me and stuff. So,
maybe those are the people you follow. I don't know.
Oh, you don't get that in your feed? That's like all I look at is like all the people who still do like VHSs. And
well, your algorithm is putting it in your feed now.
Of course.
So,
you're right.
But a lot of people whose homes I go to, like all my friends who also own houses, don't have a hell of a lot of DVDs. But people who are just a little bit older than us, like some of my slightly older friends, and Dennis has admitted this too, he has a massive DVD and movie collection.
It's as big as mine?
Bigger.
Really? Oh, wow. Oh,
yes. And comic books.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a large comic collection too, but I keep them all hidden in the cabinets under the toys.
So, but I think that that's a thing that people our age and older did, but not everybody our age, but it was like it just missed some of us.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like not you, because like you do the comic book and like you keep
I was
movies
also
too,
into older stuff when I was younger. Like,
no.
Yeah, just always was into black and white movies and that kind of stuff. Dragnet.
And well, the like I said, the things that we taped off of our TVs are what shaped us. I think there's a
yeah, it could be. Yeah,
I think that's personally, I'll say that's a solid theory. It's my own theory, but
I just think it's the things we were exposed to when we were younger. It's just like anything else. It's like
it shapes you.
I saw Rocky Horror Picture Show the first time in '99. I literally remember the day, and it was like it blew my mind. I was like, I want to do whatever this is. I want this for forever. I loved it. So, yeah.
I know for a fact my sister showed it to me, but I couldn't tell you when.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I remember the day. All right.
If you want to get into some real old people shit, is when they used to do Rocky Horror at the Main Street movie theater.
I used to go.
I bet you did.
I did.
Fucking theater kid.
Yeah. The last time I saw Rocky Horror live was in 2014. I was at Monster Mania in Jersey. Have you ever been to Monster Mania? No. Okay. So it's a horror convention in Jersey at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And they used to do this. I don't think they do it anymore, but they did Rocky Horror Picture Show, midnight showing in the like multi-purpose room, and it was seriously so much fun.
Was it like the Main Street Theater like that?
Yeah, it's all the
like
same.
that?
I've been to that like a bunch of times. I used to go as a kid a lot.
So, in case you're not from Delaware listening to this show, there was a movie, or there is technically it's still there, despite its lack of signage, movie theater in this shopping center in the college town that we live near called Main Street. But on midnight on Saturdays, they would show the Rocky Horror Picture Show every Saturday, and all the freaks like Matt would go there because people would act out the lines in the auditorium, and like people would be like,
well, that's what you do,
dressing up and just doing like that's like the thing.
Yeah, that is Rocky Horror.
It's Rocky Horror.
Yeah, so the original Rocky Horror was a play, and it was called the Rocky Horror Show. It was a musical.
And then when it became a movie, they called it Picture Show.
The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Makes
and then
sense.
you're supposed to what it became in London first was you start acting out the movie in front of the movie. You literally do it while they project it behind you on the screen. Ugh. No, it's fun. It's so much fun. Maybe not for you, but for weirdos like me, it's seriously so much fun. And if it's your first time there, this is so funny. Like, I wonder.
It's like going to see a band and like having a guitar and playing along with the songs or something to me.
Well, no, they don't. They don't. They just mouth the words in the songs. They don't actually sing them on the stage.
Like cabaret. That's even weirder. Ugh.
You just don't get. I mean, it's just not your thing.
It's not for me. That's all.
But it's funny. I'm trying to think if there's people listening to this there's probably people at my work listening to this. They have no idea what I'm talking about.
Fine, they can learn.
Which is just funny. Yeah. So
Google is free, boys.
What you do is you go there and they give you a bag full of props. See, this is funny. You don't know this either. Yeah. Because I learned this at a really young age. In fact, it must have been 98. Anyway.
Whatever.
So you get a bag, like a popcorn bag full of props. There you get rice, you get a sheet of newspaper.
The rice is for the wedding.
Yep. The newspaper is for and a squirt gun, a little tiny dollar store squirt gun, and then you squirt water up when it's raining outside because Janet is holding newspaper over her head to block the rain. And then you squirt that. You get a roll of toilet paper when he says "Great Scott," and you throw the Scott toilet paper. What else comes in there? There's all kinds of silly things, but I used to do it as a little kid because this couple that helped raise me they were like, "Oh, you like Rocky Horror Picture Show?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what it is." And they were like, "Oh, we have to," then they got me into the props and all that stuff. So I learned about that at a really young age, like, in the mid 90s, I guess. And so this Monster Mania was really fun. I'm sorry. So that's what I was saying. So if it's your first time going, you normally you try not to tell people it's your first time, but your friends will always call you out, be like, it's their first time, it's their first time. They make you draw a big V on your forehead in lipstick that stands for virgin. And then they make you do funny stuff. So for me,
some of this stuff is coming back to me. I've only heard this shit tangentially.
Yeah, so for me, when I went to the Newark Theater, I think I was like 17, because you couldn't go unless you were 17.
There's that too.
You had to get like a waiver signed by your parents or something. It was so stupid.
You had to have permission.
Right, which is just so funny now, because this is still early internet shit like that. Like, not early internet, but it was like it was still mysticism about it. Now kids have like whatever.
That showing, like that running show at the Main Street Theater predated internet shit, I'm pretty sure.
Oh god, dude, yeah. So Rocky Horror's been around since 1975.
Man, my sister's fucking lame now. She doesn't do any of that cool stuff anymore.
I mean, there's nowhere to do it around here anymore. Nobody does Rocky Horror anymore.
All she does is watch Eagles games.
I went to one at Theater N that was really fun as well. So anyway, I had to act out, me and this girl, it was her first time too, and we had to act out orgasms in front of a packed audience. And whoever had the better orgasm won or whatever. And I think I won because I screamed. Like, I was like, ah! Like, I was like doing, crazy shit.
Just like real life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's fun, man. I hope the new generation gets to do shit like that.
Man, do you think, speaking of the new generation, do you think things like plays are going to go away?
I don't think plays will go away, no. Do you?
I think they're definitely going to get smaller. I think there'll be a place for them, like New York City.
Right.
And maybe like a couple of other markets.
You don't think high schools will do plays anymore?
I don't know. I think it's just... I don't know. So I think if I were to assume, I think that, like, obviously the classically most underfunded programs in schools are the arts.
Yeah, most definitely.
Any of the arts, music, drama, all that shit. So I think they're going to be cut out, and they'll only be... This is all by just me, my personal assumption.
Sure.
That theater stuff will be contained to, like, New York, Chicago, and maybe LA or something.
It's funny you say it, because I think that stuff all the time, and then I drive through towns, and there's so many local theater programs. Because, like, you know how there's a bunch of... There's Walnut Street Theater in Philly and all that shit.
Yeah, well, fucking across the street from Helium Comedy Club, there's that little theater, that little black box theater right there. So, obviously, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
But, dude, like, my sister lived in Media, PA, for a while. Mm-hmm. And, like, Wanda Sykes lives in Media, famously. Mm-hmm. And
another special I had taped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she's great. But, like, they still do... The Media theater is, like, huge, bro. Oh. So, but I kind of think you're on to something. Like, I don't think the newer generation cares about theater as much.
I'd be happy to be wrong, because I don't want that art to go away.
I don't either, but I also don't go out to the theater that much, so I feel like a jerk.
Well, once that art form goes away, other live art forms are going to go away too.
Bro, when YouTube first started becoming popular, I was like, oh, great, no one's going to come out to see my band anymore.
It's quite the opposite.
I think it is now. Yeah, when it was first hitting, I remember people, like, because I was in college when, like, my band was starting to get, like, a little more traction, and we were playing, 3-4 shows a week, and people are like, literally would be like, oh, somebody will record it, I'll just catch it on YouTube, and I was like, oh fuck, dude, that means, like, people don't want to come to live shows anymore. Now, I feel like because of the pandemic, everything's just packed. Because people are, like, freaked out it'll go away again. But I don't know.
I didn't see YouTube or any live videos for that matter, detract from the shows I was going to. But again, different scene.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
this has been a fucking fun episode.
It's been a long episode.
It's not that long. It's okay.
Hour and a half.
Yeah. Follow us on Instagram. Blech. Follow us on Instagram at ThankYouForUrServices_podcast. That's where all of our clips live, and the links to anywhere you may want to follow the show at, or your preferred medium in which to listen or watch it. Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, all that good shit. Apple, Spotify. And please, somebody, anybody, send us a fucking email. ThankYouForUrServices@gmail.com. And your is spelled UR. So that's ThankYouForUrServices@gmail.com. If somebody sends me a story, I'm going to read it.
Aren't you guys glad the holidays are over? Everybody who's listening.
What did you just say to me?
Orange, you guys glad the holidays are over?
Where did orange come from?
It's an old joke.
Oh,
Silly.
boy. Anyway, bye.
Thank you for your services.